head coach Steve Kinniburgh to Kettering Town once again to Publish TV. It's been a little while since we've spoken. Circumstances have changed quite a bit since our last conversation. I think it was at Hereford. How have things developed, Steve, since then?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously been a lot of changes around the football club, with obviously Paul coming in as the first team manager and putting his stamp on what's happening at the sort of top end of the football club. All the ground improvements that have obviously been going on, and in the background we've been putting together a youth sector that we believe is now going to hopefully start challenging roundabout for the National League players, because when you're a football club and you're developing, obviously going back when I used to kick the football, we were down in step 4 into step 3, and now the club's at a level now at step 2 and on league that you would like to think that we can sustain and hopefully kick on from this point. So as a youth sector, as a youth development in an academy, you've got to now find players who can get to that level, and that's what we've been doing over the sort of last year. We've been going around looking for players that we believe that we can get in the door at 15, 16 years old, that we can then work with for 2-3 years and hopefully then develop them into first team players that can go and push. And when you're a team that's coming through those different levels, you've got to be able to find a player of that calibre. So yeah, we're getting there. It's been a lot of hard work over the last 12 months, but we've now got a team there that we think is got a decent chance of pushing on.
Is at 15-16 then the sort of crux age to get a player moulded so that you can see if that player is going to develop into a first team?
Yeah, I mean, you look at a lot of different people have different strategies to it, but when you go into 11-a-side football at 12, 13 years old, and you've got to learn the basics of that. So we've went back into the junior academy, and we've kind of put people in place that can put the 11-a-side game into place at that age and start getting the sort of fundamentals of football. But at that level, it's not about the winning. It's not about the competing to a certain extent. It's more about the development of the game. It's more about how to progress through it. And then when you get to sort of the 15, 16 years, that's when you're starting to look at the sort of the psychological side of the game. How do you think about the game? You know, and it's not all about the technical side of did you see that goal I scored? That's only a small part of it now. You know, there's a lot more to the game that you've got to now develop, and we've got from that 15, 16 years to 18, 19 years, we've got to develop that side of the game. So, and I would say for me it's the hardest part. You know, you can see physical attributes, obviously. You know, you can see how fast somebody can run, you can see how strong they are, you can see somebody's technique, you can see how they strike the ball, you can see how they head the ball. But what you can't see is how people think about the game, you know, and that's the bit that everybody finds difficult to identify. You know, how does a striker's movement, how does he get to the front post, how does a midfielder cover areas, and we've got to then develop that over that sort of 15, 16, 17, 18 years age to progress it.
I suppose also you've got all the outside influences of a teenager who will have to deal with, haven't you, as well? I mean, there's a lot of peer pressure surely from their mates who are outside of football. That must be quite difficult as a teenager to sort of combat.
Yeah, I would. That's a great point, because over the years, again, you get boys. I've played with boys. You know, I played with boys who were better footballers than I am. You know, or was, and and they never made it. You know, at 17 they fell out the game, and it's the social side of the game. You know, again, as a coach, you try to find out as much as you possibly can about the players. You know, you have conversations with them, you try and find out what they're doing off the pitch, but you can't actually know to a full extent. So yeah, the social side of the game, you know, you've got that age that they're coming in where, you know, they're starting to grow up and become adults, and lots of things come with that. You know, some of them get put under pressure, you know, probably not intentionally by parents, because they may be struggling and they have to go out and earn some money to bring into the household. You know, it's all these different things that you've got to knit together. And one of the things we've got at the minute as well with some players and have is they're now coming and saying, "Oh, can I play adult football? You know, can I go and play at step 6?" And again, we've got to manage expectations of how much football are you actually doing, you know, because they want to play all day, every day, but again, it's not good for the development. So, it's all these things that you've got off the pitch from probably that 15 years up to 19 years that you've got to manage, and if you can get through that, and the onside pitch stuff, and get into the first team squad, that's when the whole sort of package starts coming together.
Well, the lads certainly couldn't ask a better experience. You had a club legend in Brett Solkin, 600 games for the club. You've got Luke Graham, who's played for Kettering Town, various other clubs as well, Mansfield included, yourself at Rangers. You've seen all sides of Kettering Town really, scoring that last gasp goal against Elsbridge to seal that victory, which allegedly was going to be the last game Kettering ever played. You've been a coach, you've been a part-time manager for a couple of games. How was that? Yeah,
it was great. I mean, probably a little bit disappointed that I didn't get a few more games. I think looking at, I were in charge for about 7 weeks and we got 2 games. But it was another kind of experience for me to you know, get another feel for what the club is like from another point of view. You know, I've been round about the club for many years. Well, since it's been at Latimer Park, you know, I've been here pretty much non-stop.
Against Kettering, of course, with Corby Town.
Yeah, and the Sixfields as well. So, you know, it was a great experience for me to understand that side of the game again. You know, yeah, I had my couple of years at Corby, but it was a lower level, and it was my team that I managed to put together as well. I came in to a team that obviously was down the bottom of the league, and I think what Luke and I done was just try and put as much. We knew we weren't going to have the job longer term, and just put as much together at the back as possible, so that when the new guy came in, whoever it was going to be, that whoever the new guy was going to be was be able to push forward with the football club and not have the sort of stuff below that nobody sees that wasn't right. We managed to get that stuff right so that we could kick the club on. And you know, Paul's came in and he's been brilliant. Spoke to him quite a lot over the summer while he's been in and about the place, and he's came out and seen a couple of training sessions. He's at the weekend there at Peterborough. We had obviously George in the first team squad, but the Northern Star game as well, we had another 4 boys involved, which it's brilliant. You know, the manager's really interested in what we're doing, but what I do like, and what he is saying is there is fundamentals that the boys have got to have before they'll get into the first team. You know, it's not a oh yeah, just send anybody up and we'll have a look, because that's not what you want from a youth sector, because then, you know, he's not interested. What he's saying is, no, look, get them to this level, get them that they can compete at first team level, send them up, and then I'll have a look and see what they're doing. And George is a prime example of that. We've done that with him, we've got him to there. Managers then had a look and went, yeah, absolutely ideal for us, let's get him on contract. You know, so we've got one on contract already. There's, I would say, probably another 2 or 3 that are not far behind it. If we can, all those things we were just talking about, we can push them on, then we've maybe got half a chance with those as well.
Well, Steve, let's hope that comes to fruition in the end, and let's hope we have a great season. I'm sure with your team around you of ex-players at Kettering will do, and thank you for your time, and we'll see you again.
Yes, Magic Cookie, cheers.